What did you see? What was really great for you today?
I think that this is an industry that's always changing, and that's what's interesting about it. And every aspect of it is always changing. Obviously, for me, the fastest growth sector that's represented here is digital signage. And you've got, I think over the last several years, one of the things that viscom Düsseldorf has always tracked very well is how that market has changed. It used to be very segmented, Thomas, didn't it? It used to, you didn't know, people coming in from the outside didn't know where to buy their screen from, the media player, the cables, the software, how it all fit together. And one of the things that's really represented well here is how all of it goes together and how we are using it in new situations. So one of the things I really like, you can actually just see over there, is from Inex Digital, and it's a child's play car with a screen in the front of it. And that kind of thing I love, because it shows you how digital screens are actually being used. It's not just all about the massive networks or the single screen on a wall somewhere. It's about how people actually interact with it in their everyday lives. So I particularly enjoyed that.
Anything else?
Oh, plenty.
So you had the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another thing that I've really enjoyed is BouncePad. BouncePad is just a little walk over here. One of the things that I've really enjoyed about that is that the iPad is the ubiquitous consumer display device now. Everybody knows the iPad. Everyone knows how to use it. Even if they don't own one, they know how to swipe around, find their information. They know what they're doing. And what BouncePad does is put that into a context where we can actually use it in traditional display environments like retail. And there's so much potential for that product. They've thought it through so well. I believe you were telling me that Toby Schneidler, who invented it, he's an architect originally, yes, you were saying. And it shows, because the design idea that has gone behind it, it's this really robust structure. It means that it can be used in so many new places. There's Toby now. There are so many places that can go from, retail through into internal communications, maybe into medical environments. There are all sorts of opportunities for that kind of product, and because everyone knows how to use it, you're going to improve customer engagement so much more than many other products can do. So I think that's a really good breakthrough product.
Yeah, that's a lot what we talk about in the retail summit. What did you see at the print? What was there attractive?
On the printing side of things, I'm going to start with something that's actually from a company normally associated with the printing world, but is actually for digital signage. Excuse me. And that's from a company called Caldera. Caldera is known for workflow software, so print management, RIP software, which is the stuff that drives printers. But what they've done is they've come out with this thing called variable display. And variable display wants to encourage people from the printing sector to use the assets that they're already using for their clients and build those into digital signage networks. So it's a software and hardware solution that makes it easier for people in the print space to integrate their clients' needs into digital signage ideas and installations. That is very, very interesting, because as we know, this world is all coming closer together. And something needs to bridge that content gap, and it can't just be agencies. And so I think that in particular is very exciting.
Thank you that you call Caldera. Caldera is sponsoring all the digital signage, the big screens on the entrance, and we use it today for our announcements. So all the screens are driven by Caldera boxes, so the variable display. And I use the software, and it's pretty easy. And if you're a print guy, you can really use it. It's not made for IT guys, it's really made for print guys.
That's what's important. I mean, digital signage software has really worked itself out over the last few years to make itself a lot easier for people that have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. There have been big advances made by Scala, by Signage Live, by the big software drivers. The issue is keeping pace with the technology and keeping pace with consumer demand. The aspect of what viscom does about applications. So You've got the great point of sale area, display and point of sale at the back of the other hall, there's this great focus on applications. That really has to stay, because the truth is there are not a huge amount of advances happening in the printed world in terms of it's all bigger, faster, longer, stronger, and that's great if you're really involved as a technician. But most people want to know, what can it do? So at viscom Düsseldorf, one of the things you showcase nicely is the channels in the German market where you can get all of these interesting things from and how they're being supplied. It's a great place to do business on that side of things, because you've got a good mix of all of the European manufacturers come here, and they're all represented here. So there's a great deal of business that can be done. But it's mostly about the applications, I think, on that side of things, and that's what's really important to show off with these specialist areas that show you live, actual, real projects that have been executed, and with brands that we recognize.
Is there one thing you just say, wow? What about the one thing I see is the projection mapping project? Because we had the idea with the projection to see you have a big car and it's just white, and someone comes into the store and want to have the color and all details, and it's usable now. Or it's a kind of proof of concept.
It's definitely a proof of concept, and it's written that shows in our space. Bring those proofs of concept here, because someone is going to look at that and think, I can think of the perfect application. I know exactly where that's going to go. My customer will love this. And it's really important that we keep bringing those technologies. It's that kind of innovation. That's why we need to make this show appeal to schools, to universities, to up-and-coming designers, to agencies. Funnily enough, one thing that I really enjoyed was on the Neschen stand. Neschen is a producer of wide format materials, different vinyls and banner materials and that sort of thing. They've got this really cool video ball above their stand with rolling content on it. And it was funny for me to see a wide format print supply manufacturer using digital signage to promote themselves. And I think that that's just proof of how much all of this world is coming together.
My favorite, sorry, it's again Caldera, but not the software, not anything of the product, but how they use the digital signage on their booth. Because they have a screen which is in vertical, and they used a printed glass, and they put it behind, and if you look there, it's not looking like a screen. These people from the print industry bringing a digital signage product for print people, they show how to use it. If you go to the booth, it's over there. It's really integrated into the back of the booth. It's really great. This is my favorite, what I see.
I think this raises a really important point, actually, which is that people from the printing industry wake up. Digital signage is happening. It is here. If you see it as an opportunity or if you see it as a threat, you need to understand it so that you can work out how it all fits together and how you can support it in your ecosystem, because sooner or later, people are going to start specifying it. And they're going to start for various reasons, and one big one is sustainability. Plus all of the changes that are happening in the digital signage world, the way that you can measure the people who are looking at the sign, the way that you can measure how long that they're looking at it for, all of that sort of thing. So printers need to wake up. Digital signage people, don't get complacent, because your screen, however beautifully and well-driven it is, however amazing the content, however changeable and however much you can measure, it still needs to sit within a cohesive brand design. And that is where print and your classic display products, even the rods and the cables and all of that, it all comes together. And so bear in mind that all of this channel is shrinking. And we all have to work out how essentially to sell, and I think that there is so much cross promotion that can happen, and it's really important for both sides to start talking to each other at forums like this and at the special seminar areas that are held as well, and really to start to drive that forward into the spaces where we actually use these applications.